Hi, everyone. Happy graduation day. Today, I am interviewing Emily LeVan. She is class of 2021 and just graduated. Thanks for joining me, Emily.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me, how does it feel to be graduated?
It feels good. It just feels really nice knowing that all the hard work and the effort that went into the last 5 years has finally paid off. That we finally have, I guess the word would be validation that we did it through going through the graduation process. But it also doesn't feel real. I almost feel like I'm gonna go back to class on Monday. Yeah, I'm sure it'll set in soon.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll take a while. Over the summer, you'll probably feel like you have to come back in the fall.
Yeah, probably with some adulting that has to take place, it'll probably start feeling a little bit more real.
Yeah, definitely. So can you start by telling us what your degree is?
I got my master's in occupational therapy.
Great. So what made you interested in getting your master's in OT?
Well, I grew up around the different types of therapy and different types of doctor specialists, just seeing it through the eyes with my brother. And then so I started shadowing and interviewing different therapists, and I liked occupational therapy the best. So I started observing and shadowing them, and I ended up loving it, not changing my mind, not turning back. And then I just also loved that it combined all the things that I love in life. So I love that it combines science, like the anatomy part. It allows me to be creative and help people in probably the most unique way.
Oh, I love that you have such a personal connection with it like that. That makes it so much more of a passion for you. What specifically in occupational therapy do you want to do? Like, what's your ultimate dream job?
I want to work in pediatrics. I haven't decided exactly what my dream job is yet, but I know it's to work with the pediatric population. I had a fieldwork rotation in pediatrics, so I loved working in the NICU and the feeding therapy sessions and just general outpatient. But I would love to be able to experience inpatient hospital setting for pediatrics. So I would guess
Well,
that would be my dream job.
that's good. It's awesome that you want to work with kids. It must make it like that much more special knowing that you're going to help someone and kind of get them started like on their life and help them through that difficult part of their life.
Yeah, I'm really excited just to see the progression, because a lot of the times you end up seeing them years down the line and you get to see how well they're doing and different things like that. So I'm excited.
I can't imagine how gratifying that feeling would be to see them like that much later in life and know that they're doing well and that you helped them with that.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to help as much as I can.
That's good. So now that you're graduated, what are your like next steps?
Well, on Monday, I actually start my second level 2 placement for fieldwork because it got postponed with COVID last year. So I'll be at Tower Health doing home health occupational therapy.
That's awesome. So that's obviously not in pediatrics then, right?
I'm excited to experience something different because I've done pediatrics for so long, but I'm also a little nervous. I need to brush up on my skills and stuff like that, but I'm excited. I'm excited to experience something new. Maybe I'll end up liking it better.
That's true. It's good, I guess, that you get to kind of jump into it right away, but at the same time, you don't really get much of a break.
That's okay with me. I'm a go-go person.
Well, that's good then. So just to kind of talk about your time at Alvernia a little bit, can you tell me like what kind of volunteer and service work you did when you were at Alvernia?
Well, I was in a couple of different clubs that did sporadic service days. So I was in SOTA. So we did Audible for Autism came to campus, and we did a halftime touchdown football run with two of the local boys in the community. that were really into football. So that was something they wanted. And the organization and our club were able to help make that happen. They did like a walk for autism at First Energy Stadium where we graduated actually. Let's see. I was also involved earlier on in my college experience, the Science Association. So we did a lot of events with Girl Scouts doing like environmental experiments and different things like that. So that was really cool. I loved the days of service that the Holleran Center planned. I just like knowing that our group of students that were going to all different sites were able to help as much as possible and give that impact and be able to see it like firsthand kind of thing versus like just being in the back and just like watching. We were able to be fully immersed in the situation and be able to network and talk to people that are wherever we were at our sites.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, volunteer service work, that's always such an amazing feeling, knowing that you can give back like that to the community. So do you have any kind of favorite like memory or tradition from your time at Alvernia? There's too many to pick from, I know.
It sounds so cliche, but I don't really have a favorite memory per se. Just like the times I got to spend with my friends, different random events that would happen during classes and labs that really stick out. But I would say like my favorite tradition is actually in the OT department. So it's called Senior Send Off. It's where the fifth years and the professors in the program actually plan like a little party for the seniors during their fall semester going on fieldwork in the spring. So it's just a nice way to like hang out, get advice from the fifth years because they've experienced it, see your professors in a less professional atmosphere and get advice from them and talk to them about what they do. But also just a nice chance to have with your peers and yeah, just have a good time together.
So is that like something you do in a class or is that a separate like event?
It's typically a separate event. I know ours was on a Friday night. I think it was the Friday before finals week that fall. And we had it in the student center. But I'm sure with like smaller classes, it could be held somewhere different, but it was nice having that big open space so that we weren't all on top of each other because it is a lot of people.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. It sounds like that's something that's really special for all of the OTs to do.
Yeah.
So what will you miss most about like college life now that you're going into that adulting phase and you don't have to go to classes every day and you won't be around your friends? Like, what are you going to miss most?
I would have to say probably being so close to my friends. I'm a very people person. So being around them all the time and then having to be, I guess in a sense, so far away, even though we could probably drive to each other, but not seeing each other every day will definitely be a little different. But I'd also say just the fact of learning. I love learning. So it'll definitely be different, like not having class, not having PowerPoints to like keep absorbing more information. So I'll miss like friends, the learning, the professors that teach us.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, but like when you get into that first job, and I mean, even in your field work, you're just constantly learning. There's so much to learn. You could never learn enough, believe me.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn through, I'm also a hands-on person. So I'm excited to learn through experience because there's so many, as much as you need to know the textbook stuff, it's so nice learning through the eyes of like another therapist or a client. Just because not every situation is going to be like a textbook situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Having somebody too, even as a mentor to kind of like guide you in that way is great too. So on the flip side of that, what are you looking forward to most now that you graduated?
Being able to do occupational therapy, being the one, not necessarily to be calling the shots, but having my own caseload, being able to plan interventions and things like that, that like I come up with from start to finish and just see them the whole way through, versus like on field work, we see them and sometimes they're discharged like 2 weeks after you start, or they're still going to treatments like weeks after you're finished. So it's nice to be able to see them from start to finish. So I'm really excited for that, and to be able to put all my knowledge that I gained from Alvernia into play.
Good. I'm glad. That sounds great. So kind of a similar question, but a little different. So what are you looking forward to now that you're an alumna of Alvernia?
I would just say like being able to come back for events. I know because of COVID, we weren't able to have Margarita Vern. But from my work study job, I was able to see it from the working perspective for a couple years. So I'm excited to actually be able to come back and experience it from like a guest's point of view. I would just say coming back for different events and being as involved as possible.
That's awesome to hear. And we want you to be as involved as possible because we still have so much to give you. And we will definitely have Margarita Vern, and it'll be in person, and your class of 21 and class of 2020 will be invited back as our guests. So yes, looking forward to that. That'll be fun. And my last question for you is, so now that you've gone through these 5 years of school, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a current student right now that you learned?
Take as many chances as you can. You never know what you are and aren't going to like. I know, like my freshman year, I was actually in one of the plays. That was something, if I told my high school self that I did that, I would never believe it. But I ended up loving it, and it made me a more outgoing person. It made me more comfortable. For instance, like public speaking for presentations, for classes, I would say it made me a little bit of a different person. It just going against your comfort zone, because again, you're never going to know what you like and what you don't like. And you're going to find yourself a little bit easier, I guess the word would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's great advice, to take every opportunity, because even if something scares you, sometimes it could be the most fun, and you never know.
Changing event to ever happen for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, congratulations, Emily, on graduating. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining me today, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
I can't wait.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.